français. Bonjour tout le monde. As we gather here on Treaty 6 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis, I am very pleased to join everyone for the proclamation ceremony for Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month for March 2021. This declaration is a significant declaration every year. And as we begin this month for 2021, I carry with me some very important lessons that I have learned from our community over the year that we've just gone through. A year where we've continued to take steps towards truth and reconciliation in our community, to move towards actions and partnerships to bring about meaningful change. And it's also been a year where we've seen the powerful uprising of awareness and calls to action around anti-Black racism in our community and our world, and all forms of discrimination against the BIPOC community and the 2S-LGBTQ community. This has generated many conversations about what we need to do next. And through these experiences, conversations, and workshops that I've had a chance to attend, my eyes have been opened in new ways. One of the key learnings that has struck me is understanding the difference between building inclusion and overcoming systemic discrimination. And that yes, we need to be welcoming and open to each other. And we need to understand our differences and the unique cultural histories that we bring, and to speak out against individual acts of racism. But that we won't end the harm that racism causes in people's lives if we don't also address systemic discrimination. To understand and end the subtle and overt ways that people experience racism in our institutions, in our community, in our neighborhoods. These happen through policies, programs, practices, and cultural norms. Norms that hold our whole community back. Because when people face these barriers, they aren't able to fully contribute to and strengthen our community. I want to thank all of the people who have stood up and are standing up to recognize that we have much more work to do. And I want to thank our city staff and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee for your leadership on this. And to all of our community partners for your hard work and determination to keep building the courage and concrete steps to address systemic racism within our organization in the city of Saskatoon and within our community as a whole. When I talk to people, I hear both a hope that this time change will come, and also a skepticism and fear that complacency will set in again. And I want you to know that I am committed to continuing this work with all of you, because I know the next generation is relying on us. And we can only do this work by working together. Now I will read the proclamation for Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month here in the city of Saskatoon. Whereas Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee has applied to the City of Saskatoon to proclaim March 2021 as Cultural Diversity Relations and Race Relations Month, and whereas the Acting City Clerk on February 11, 2021 considered the application and approved the application to proclaim March 2021 as Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month, now therefore the City of Saskatoon proclaims March 2021 as Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon. Please join me in acknowledging that we're on Treaty 6 territory and the traditional homeland of the Métis. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today, and more importantly, thank you for continuing to celebrate March as Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month in this city. My name is David Arnott. I'm the Chief Commissioner at the Saskatchewan Human Rights Commission. At the Commission, we have a mandate to promote the recognition of the inherent dignity, the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family, and to discourage and eliminate discrimination. In many cases, discrimination is based on cultural differences, for instance, race, ancestry, and religion. It is a real yet unfortunate truth that we live in a community where racial and cultural tensions exist, in a province where deep social divides have been exposed. That's why today is so important, because instead of focusing on differences, we are here to celebrate them. Instead of sowing seeds of division, days like today help foster harmony in the community. Later this month, during the Living in Harmony Awards ceremony, we will recognize the excellent work being done in the city, work that helps build Saskatoon as a more inclusive and diverse community. We will honor citizens who take action, citizens who put in work day in and day out throughout the year, citizens who are committed to tackling the challenges that exist in Saskatoon. I want you to know that the Saskatchewan Human Rights Commission is committed to doing its part as well. Our mission is to promote and protect the individual dignity, fundamental freedoms, and the equal rights of all Saskatchewan citizens. There are no exceptions to that. But our mission does not end there. The Commission also works to improve our communities and bring people together. One of the ways we do that is through a program we call Courageous Conversations. These Courageous Conversations are designed to cultivate understanding and bridge divisions in the community. They explore 5 major social justice issues: race discrimination, the need for all Canadians to reconcile with Indigenous peoples, gender discrimination, mental health and addictions, and disability issues. We also examine the Holocaust because that provided the impetus for the United Nations 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that was the foundation for the rights revolution in the last half of the last century. We're challenging all Saskatchewan citizens to be part of a new revolution, the responsibility revolution in the first half of the 21st century. Since 2014, we've hosted over 70 Courageous Conversations. The most recent one was held just last week. The topic was hate speech. The COVID-19 pandemic has given rise to a corrosive wave of misinformation and hate. We've seen hate proliferate online. That online hate has translated into real-world violence, both around the world and right here in this community. We cannot let hate go unchecked or unchallenged. The Commission is currently working with the University of Saskatchewan on a research project that tracks the causes of online hate directed at the Asian community during the pandemic. We all have a part to play. As citizens of this vibrant community, as members of one human family, and as people who believe in the power of diversity, we all have a responsibility to counter hate through dialogue, understanding, and unity. Along with our Courageous Conversation series, another way the Commission works to improve the community is by actively promoting harmony, inclusion, and good citizenship. The Commission has created a citizenship education set of resources from grades kindergarten to 12, used in classrooms and teachers in this community. It is the Commission's hope that all students will learn to be excellent students, students who know their rights, who fundamentally respect their fellow citizens, and who demonstrate a sense of responsibility to their community and a willingness to work together. Because togetherness is key to our success, both now and in the future. Together we can build bridges rather than barriers. It is important to remember, especially in a city like Saskatoon, a city that is multicultural, multidimensional, multi-theist, multi-ethnic, and fundamentally pluralistic. In this community, diversity is a solution, not a problem. From many people's strengths, that is the motto of the province of Saskatchewan, and that motto embraces diversity. That motto celebrates diversity, and diversity deserves to be celebrated today, this month, and throughout the entire year. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Namarta Kochar, and I am chair of the City of Saskatoon's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Advisory Committee. I'd like to express my sincerest thank you to the City of Saskatoon for inviting me to speak at today's proclamation and opening ceremony for Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. This year, due to COVID-19, we cannot be together. However, I want to thank you for watching this year's virtual online ceremony, which really demonstrates how we as a community come together to show support for the work we are all doing in diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism. The City of Saskatoon has celebrated Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month every year since 1990 and has been working hard with stakeholders to create an inclusive community where ethno-cultural diversity is welcomed and valued, and where everyone can live with dignity and to their full potential without facing racism or discrimination. Today, as we begin Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month, it is important to remember that the work being done is not just for a month. It is being done all day, every day, and by so many people in Saskatoon. It is not easy, and it takes a lot of work, effort, and commitment. However, we are all in this together to help create a city that values diversity, equity, and inclusion. For me, this is very personal and important, and has led to my journey of promoting multiculturalism, diversity, inclusion, and anti-racism. My father and late mother immigrated to Canada and landed in Saskatchewan, and ultimately in Saskatoon. Being new, they had little support as they transitioned their life to this new, beautiful place. The community became their family, and they were included by their neighbors and new friends. And while there were times that we were met with racism, it just highlighted the need to bring awareness to cultural diversity, inclusion, and anti-racism. This inspired my parents to become engaged citizens in the community and also to play an active role in promoting intercultural harmony and respect. A lot of great work has been done by our ancestors and elders, and I realized that it was time for me to also start taking a role on this very important topic. I am tremendously grateful to the initiatives, strategies, and importance the City of Saskatoon has taken to bring diversity, equity, inclusion, and anti-racism to the forefront. And it is so wonderful to see so many organizations working together to promote and celebrate cultural diversity. The work is ongoing, and we must all work together to continue to build the best city for everyone. I would also like to thank all of the other members of the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Advisory Committee for all of their time, commitment, and hard work to promote cultural diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today, as we kick off Cultural Diversity and Race Relations Month, let us give thanks to all those before us who have worked so hard to build a welcoming and beautiful city for all residents and newcomers, and let us continue their great work each and every day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Delilah Kamahanda. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm talking to you today from Treaty 6 territory, homeland of the Métis. Today I want to talk to you about compassionate communities and anti-racism. I run a group here in Saskatoon called Black Lives Matter YXC, and I started this group because I knew that after the rallies and protests of the summer that we needed that continued collective community. I saw that Black folks and BIPOC and our genuine allies, that we needed that safe space and that sense of community that was affirming and made us feel seen and protected. And so I started BLM-YXC. Now, the revival really of my work within anti-racism and BLM occurred around this time last year, actually. I was walking home from my last day in the office to enter what I thought would be a few month-long COVID lockdown, and we're still here. And on that walk home, I was attacked by a very racist, very overtly racist man who questioned me because he thought that being this color made me a criminal. It meant that I didn't belong. And I was so fortunate that during that very violent and physical attack that someone saw, and they did not have the same biases, and they decided to be an ally and help me get through that safely. And so when the first rally for George Floyd was being held in Saskatoon, I felt compelled to go. I had not left my home on my own, alone since that event, because I was too afraid. But I felt compelled to go by myself. And I'm so happy that I did, because the passion and the solidarity I felt in that moment, it changed me in so many ways, and it started what became BLM-YXC today. Through this work, I have met some amazing people from all over the country, but I've especially met amazing young folks like yourselves who have made our rally and our work since then possible. I'm continuously astounded by the compassion and the care and the actions of young people in our community. And so I'd like to say thank you to all of you young people watching today who are on that path and trying to make that change. You're doing it. You are definitely doing it. And I am so happy that there are people like you in our next generation who are already doing the work, already attending things about racism and anti-racism and building better communities. It's truly amazing. Unfortunately, we also see the negative side of things. We see people who feel powerless and silenced, who suffered a lot of harm. We see bigotry and racial violence and discrimination not only have a history in our community, but are a painful reality to many people. And unfortunately, we hear from the people who say, it's not a problem at all in our community. That's not my Saskatoon. We don't need BLM-YXC here. We're just fine. We are not just fine. We need to acknowledge that we live in a place that has a history of racism, has racism in our systems, in our societies, and us all collectively acting to dismantle that is how we actually build a city and a community where we can say, this is my Saskatoon, this is my Saskatchewan, this is my community. I'm proud to be here, I'm proud to be part of the change, and I'm proud that we live in a place that shows such compassion towards one another. We can do that. We have the potential to do that. We have people already doing the work like you all. We have the power to create change. How do we do that? We act with compassion towards one another. We acknowledge the history and the present reality of racism and discrimination in our community. We talk about these things, we learn together, we unlearn together, and we hold our leaders, our schools, our governments, our politicians accountable to act on things and to do the right things and to be part of anti-racist and anti-oppressive work. That is how we can create compassionate communities. So I challenge you all to find something that you love and are passionate about, whether it's art or writing, and talk about anti-racism within it. Do something about it. Create change in your community. It is possible. It is so possible. And it starts when we all do something. Just do it. Just do anything. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for your continued care. I hope to see you all doing great things moving forward, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day.